Hey, are you still awake? Oh, you are. Okay. I just got back from my friend's house, and I just wanted to see if you were still awake. Yeah, it's pretty late. And I know that you've been having some trouble with your insomnia again. Okay. Well, I've changed into my pajamas, and if you want, I can stay up with you for just a little bit, maybe help you get relaxed and ready to fall asleep. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I don't work tomorrow, so I'll be fine. Okay. Well, do you want to go in the kitchen with me and we can make some tea? Okay. Okay, and you can just take a seat right over there. Let's see what cup I should use. This cup? It's got cute little edgings. I'll show you my other cup. It's a little bit taller and it's simpler, but just as good. Okay, so which one do you want? The little one? Okay. I don't have a tea kettle, unfortunately, or we don't. So, I will just run you some water. And set the liquid. Just wait for it. It's warm enough. Now we get to choose what tea you would like. I've got a couple. Let's see what else I have. I apologize for not having that much tea. I usually have more and stuff. First one that we got is Earl Grey. E-A-R-L-G-R-E-Y. Earl Grey. That's the first one. And then we have our chai tea. And then we have some classic green tea. G-R-E-E-N-T-E-A. Green tea. So which one would you like? The Earl Grey? Alright. Also got a little sample for another tea. It is American Breakfast Black Tea. You'd like this one? Yeah, sure. Let's give it a try. And how strong do you like your tea? Mild? Okay. So you can probably start drinking it as soon as I put this in. Yeah. This tea also has a very quick steeping time. So that's probably the best. I'll get you a spoon. It's not a fancy spoon or anything. This will work. Just gonna stir the tea around. Do you mind if I have a sip? That's really good. Do you want a sip? I'll set it down here for you. So, why do you think your insomnia is flaring up again? Stress with your job? I get it. I'm kind of in the same position. It's okay. How's the tea? Good. Do you want any honey or sugar? Honey? Okay. You know what? We might actually be out of honey. Oh, I see it. Found the honey. Just a little bit. Okay. Okay. Much better. Use your tea bag. Do you want your spoon? Do you want to maybe go back to my bedroom? You can sip your tea and I can read you a story if you want. Yeah, okay, let's go back. Alright, so I've decided to read to you Among the Hidden. And this is by Margaret Haddix. I have all the books of this series. I've read this book several times, and it's a short book. It's only, let me see, 153 pages. Okay, so I'll read you for a little bit. Chapter 1. He saw the first tree shudder and fall, far off in the distance. Then he heard his mother call out at the kitchen window, "Luke, inside now." He had never disobeyed the order to hide. Even as a toddler, barely able to walk in the backyard's tall grass, he had somehow understood the fear in his mother's voice. But on this day, the day they began taking the woods away, he hesitated. He took one extra breath of the fresh air, scented with clover and honeysuckle, and coming from far away, pine smoke. He laid his hoe down gently, and savored one last moment of feeling warm soil beneath his bare feet. He reminded himself, "I will never be allowed outside again. Maybe never again as long as I live." He turned and walked into the house, as silently as a shadow. "Why?" he asked at the supper table that night. It wasn't a common question in the Garner house. There were plenty of hows. How much rain did the backfield get? How's the planting going? Even what's? What'd Matthew do with the 5/16 wrench? What's Dad going to do about that busted tire? But why wasn't considered much worth asking. Luke asked again, "Why'd you have to sell the woods?" Luke's dad harhumped and paused in the midst of shoveling forkfuls of boiled potatoes into his mouth. "Told you before, we didn't have a choice. Government wanted it, and you can't tell the government no." Mother came over and gave Luke's shoulder a reassuring squeeze before turning back to the stove. They had defied the government once, with Luke. They had taken all the defiance they had in them, maybe more. "We wouldn't have sold the woods if we hadn't had to," she said, ladling out thick tomatoey soup. "The government didn't ask us if we wanted houses there." She pursed her lips as she slid the bowls of soup onto the table. "But the government's not going to live in the houses," Luke protested. At 12, he knew better, but sometimes still pictured the government as a very big, mean, fat person, 2 or 3 times as tall as an ordinary man, who went around yelling at people, "Not allowed," and "Stop that." It was because of the way his parents and older brothers talked. "Government won't let us plant corn there again. Government's keeping the prices down. Government's not going to like this crop." "Probably some of the people who live in those houses will be government workers," Mother said. "It'll all be city people." If he'd been allowed, Luke would have gone over to the kitchen window and peered out into the woods, trying for the umpteenth time to picture rows and rows of houses where the firs and maples and oaks now stood, or had stood. Luke knew from a sneak peek right before summer that half the trees were now toppled. Some already lay on the ground. Some hung at weird angles from their former lofty positions in the sky. Their absence made everything look different, like a fresh haircut, exposing a band of untanned skin on the forehead. Even from deep inside the kitchen, Luke could tell the trees were missing because something was brighter, more open, scarier. "And then, when those people move in, I have to stay away from the windows?" Luke asked, though he knew the answer. The question made Dad explode. He slammed his hand down on the table. "Then, you gotta stay away now. Everybody and his brother's going to be tramping around back there to see what's going on. They see you." He waved his fork violently. Luke wasn't sure what the gesture meant, but he knew it wasn't good. No one was ever told him exactly what happened if anyone saw him. Death was what happened to the runt pigs who got stepped on by their stronger brothers and sisters. Death was a fly that stopped buzzing when the swatter hit it. He had a hard time thinking about himself in connection with the smashed fly or the dead pig gone stiff in the sun. He made his stomach feel funny, even trying. "I don't think it's fair we've got to do Luke's chores now," Luke's other brother Mark grumbled. Can't he go outside some? Maybe at night? Luke waited hopefully for the answer, but Dad just said no, without looking up. It's not fair, Mark said again. Mark was the second son, the lucky second. Luke thought that what he was feeling sorry for himself. Mark was 2 years older than Luke, and barely a year younger than Matthew, the oldest. Matthew and Mark were easily recognizable as brothers, with their dark hair and chiseled faces. Luke was fair, smaller, soft-looking. He often wondered if he'd ever look together, like them. Somehow he didn't think so. Luke don't do nothing nohow, Matthew jeered. We won't miss his work at all. It's not my fault, Luke protested. I'd be more help if... Mother laid her hands on his shoulders again. Hush, all of you, she said. Luke will do what he can. He always has. The sound of tires on their gravel driveway came through the open window. Now who? Dad started. Luke knew the rest of the sentence. Who could that be? Why were they bothering him now? His first chance all day to sit down? It was a question Luke always heard the end from the other side of the door. Today, skittish because of the woods coming down, he scrambled up faster than usual, dashing for the door to the back stairs. He knew without watching that Mother would take his place from the table and hide it in the cupboard, would slide his chair back into the corner so it would look like an unneeded space. In 3 seconds, she would hide all evidence that Luke existed, just in time to step to the door and offer a weary smile to the fertilizer salesman, or the government inspector, or whoever else had come to interrupt their supper. Sorry if I have a little bit of a lisp whenever I read. Or I screw up words, but that's okay. So how are you feeling? You're feeling tired? That's good, to be able to feel tired. Is there anything else you want me to do? A face massage? That's fine. Yeah, no problem. Okay, let me go get my lotion. Gonna get it into my hands. Okay. Close your eyes now, okay? Alright. How are you feeling? Ready for bed? Well, I hope you sleep nice and soundly. And I'll see you in the morning, okay? Sure. A little bed night kiss. Alright. Good night.